Here we have the battery compartment, so you can open it up, replace your battery in case your battery goes bad or if you just want it disconnected. This is the first keyboard I had with this feature, and it's surprisingly more useful than you think. But first, let's go over the keyboard here real quick. This is a Trimode keyboard with Bluetooth, wired, and Wi-Fi connectivity. And before you ask, yes, this is Mac compatible with the toggle switch underneath. The battery is rated at 4000 mAh and is replaceable in case it goes bad, as I said a while back. My unit came with Gateron Reds and they're pre-lubed. I should say, these feel so much better than generic Reds from Cherry clones. Only downside, which may also be an upside however you want your keyboards built, is its tray-mounted structure. Gasket to me is the standard nowadays, but tray mounted can also be a good choice for some specific switches, and we will go over them in a while. The software is standard with the option for key binding, macro recording, that detects mouse clicks by the way, and RGB settings. By the way, I'll show you how to tear this down, so hang in there. Box content is pretty straightforward with the keyboard, manual, cable, and switch puller. You don't get extra Gateron Reds. Cable is generic, but at least it's colored according to the keycaps of the keyboard. The housing is made really well with very little flexing. Top cover seems thick and sturdy, then adding a steel plate inside, dampened with silicone, this is heavy as fudge. It also does not feel hollow. Overall, very good keyboard build. Its feet are the standard kick-up feet for keyboards with good implementation of rubber underneath. One thing I noticed though is its height. I'm used to typing on cherries, which aren't as tall as these keycaps, and I felt a bit of wrist strain as I was still getting used to the feel of the keyboard. Got questions? Comment down below. Keycap profile is very similar to Acos ASA keycaps, made with double shot PBT. Stabilizers are pre-lubed and an okay amount was applied, as I don't hear much rattling with the stabs, yet you're free to add more lube. Stabs aren't perfectly tight with a very slight wobble, but they're good enough for me. I wish this had screw-in stabilizer ports in the PCB, but it does not, and that's fine. Switches on the unit I have, again, are Gateron Reds that are pre-lubed. This is offered in 3 versions of switches from Gateron: red, silvers, and browns. Oh, and by the way, if you notice that one, that's a diffuser in the switch that makes RGB shine a lot brighter. And speaking about RGB, let's talk about aesthetics. The K98 only has one color option, which is a tricolor mix of black, gray, and red with white legends. The top cover is a mix of gloss, matte, and textured surfaces. The textured surface kinda gives it a personality that suggests strength or masculinity. And as for branding, you get one at the lower right, which is not too in your face, so I'm good with it. Plus, I like that it's not just the regular paint slapped on the cover, but a steel badge. This has 15 RGB modes, and with the diffusers on the switch, the keys seem like they're floating on colored air or something. The RGB strip at the side was a good touch, yet it isn't synced with the RGB on the keyboard. But so far, so good. Did I leave anything behind? Again, comment down below. Now, disassembling this is easy. Remove the battery first. Then pry off 5 clips on top, 1 clip on both sides, and 7 below. Remove that 1 screw under the space bar and you're good. The PCB is screwed into the plate, so keep that in mind. There's one thing I would like to note about this piece. The plate dampener is silicone with an embedded switch pad. I rarely see this on keyboards, yet I highly recommend it. The damping effect on this is really good. Now, underneath the keyboard is another layer of silicone. So far, I like how this keyboard was dampened, yet I might just remove the bottom damper, add gaskets to the bottom case, and tape mod this thing. And let's hear it this time. But wait, actually, before we do that, just want to mention that I removed the gaskets as they're effing the PCB placement, so there's that. Anyways, access the links below to get yourself your Kemove K98, and don't forget to subscribe.